I did this because love's absence was louder than any words. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You pushed me to my limit, but my spirit broke through the chains. They see only the act, never the heartbreak that caused it. You forced me into darkness, but I chose them to shine anyway. I became the storm because you left calm in ruins. They blame me, but you created the cracks in our foundation. You pushed me to this, but I am healing one scar at a time. I didn't want this fight, but your absence demanded a battle. You pushed me to scream when silence was my only language. Everyone sees the fire, but none feel the smoke in my lungs. You forced my hand, but my heart is the one that bleeds. I did this because love without presence is a war no one wins. You pushed me to this act of survival, not destruction. They talk about you pushing me, but I'm learning to forgive my own soul. You left me no choice. I chose to rise from your ashes. I am not reckless. I am the echo of your forgotten love. You pushed me to darkness, but I carry the dawn inside. They judge what you pushed me to do, never my reasons why. You forced me into silence. I found my voice in the wreckage. I became fierce because love abandoned me quietly. You pushed me, but I'm writing my own ending now. Stronger, whole. You pushed me so deeply, now I am the ocean of unspoken truths. The silence you left forced my heart to scream in colors. You made me choose pain. Now I'm learning to dance with it. They see my scars, but never the battles you never fought with me. You pushed me into the fire. Watch me rise, untouched by your ashes. I carried your absence like a storm until I found my calm. You broke the quiet, but I found power in my shattered pieces. You pushed me to act. I acted to reclaim my lost soul. Behind every why is a love story you forgot to write. They blame me for breaking, but I'm just the voice you silenced. You forced my hand, I forced my healing. Both are wild and true. You pushed me to walk away, but I'm coming back stronger still. You left wounds that taught me how to love myself fiercely. I am the thunder after your silence drowned out my heartbeats. You pushed me toward the edge. I leapt into my own freedom. I'm not the ruin. You are the storm that shaped this wreckage. Your absence was a void. I filled it with unbreakable light. You pushed me to lose control. I found strength in my chaos. The scars you gave me are now constellations of my healing journey. You forced me into silence, but my soul sings louder now. They talk about what you pushed me to, but not the love I lost. You pushed me too hard. I became unstoppable in my pain and power. I walked through fire you set. Now I glow with unshakable light. You made me break rules, but I rewrote them in my own name. Your neglect made me fierce. I am both wound and healer now. You pushed me into shadows. I carry the dawn inside me. They judge my choices, unaware of the love that once held me. You forced me to fall. I learned to fly from the ashes. You pushed me so far, I discovered the power in my own silence. I'm the echo of every word you left unsaid to me. Your silence forced my soul into a wild, beautiful rebellion. You made me shatter, but I'm piecing together a stronger whole. You pushed me to scream so my spirit could finally be heard. They blame me, but you left me no other way to survive. You forced my hand, but my heart holds the final story. I am the fire you couldn't contain or control. Now I burn free. Your absence pushed me into a new life, one I'm learning to love. You made me walk alone. I'm now the strongest version of myself. They talk about your push. I'm living the aftermath with silent strength. You pushed me to this act. I'm healing from the wreckage you caused. I'm not the damage. You are the storm that tore us apart. Your silence pushed me into chaos. I found peace within the ruins. You forced me to choose. I chose freedom over a broken love. I did this because the love I needed was never there. You pushed me to act, but I'm healing with every scar you gave. They judge my steps, unaware of the heartbreak that shaped my path. You pushed me to darkness. I am becoming my own light. I carry the weight of your absence like a warrior carries their scars. You forced me to lose control. I found strength in my own chaos. You pushed me to scream. I found my voice, and it's loud, raw, and true. They blame me, but I'm only fighting the war you started. You left me broken. I'm rebuilding myself with fierce, unyielding love. Your silence was a wound. I'm turning it into my greatest strength. You pushed me beyond love's limits. I'm discovering new ones for myself. I did this because I had no other way to be seen or heard. You forced my hand, but I'm rewriting the ending in my own power. They talk about your push. I'm living proof of survival and healing. My dear, they whisper, you forced my hand, but only my soul truly understands the storm inside. You pushed me to this edge where silence screams louder than words ever could. Behind every choice, I carry the weight of the love you shattered. They say you made me break, but I was already cracking beneath your gaze. You lit the fire, but I chose how fiercely it would burn. No one sees the nights I wrestled your ghosts before making this move. You forced my hand, but my heart writes its own reckless story. They talk, but they never felt the sting of your cold silence. You pushed me to act, but I'm reclaiming power they never knew you stole. Behind my actions is a heartbreak you refused to hear. I didn't want this war. Your silence drew the battlefield lines. They don't know you whispered the poison, but I drank it anyway. You broke the quiet first. Now the world watches my reply. This isn't revenge. It's my soul's painful freedom cry. I walked to the edge because you held me there with broken promises. You made me choose this path. Still, I own every step I take. They judge what you force, but not the tears no one saw. You pushed me to this act. I pushed back with the weight of every scar. The world calls me reckless, but I was only reacting to your absence. You pushed me away until I became the storm they now fear. Your silence forced my voice to shatter the quiet. I did this not because I wanted to, but because you left me no choice. Everyone talks about you pushing me, but no one feels what I lost. You pushed me too far. Now I am both the wound and the healing. You made me break rules, hearts, and promises I once treasured. I am not the villain. You made me the hero of my own survival. The weight of your absence pushed me into a battle I never sought. You pushed me to act, but I'm rewriting the story on my own terms. They don't hear the silent screams behind every decision I made. You pushed me to fire, and I chose how brightly to burn it all. I didn't want this chaos. Your distance forced my soul to rebel. They say I lost control, but you pushed me past all reason. You forced my hand, but my heart was the one bleeding beneath. I am the echo of every broken word you never said. You pushed me to silence, but now my truth shouts louder than before. They blame me for the fall, but you built the cliff's edge. You pushed me into darkness, but I learned to own the night. I chose this storm only because you left me no calm. They talk about how you pushed, but no one sees my shattered trust. You forced the change. I embraced it to save what's left of me. I'm the shadow of every promise you broke with your silence. You pushed me to do this, but I am reclaiming my own light. The pain you caused became the fire that forged my soul's armor. They judge my fight, never knowing you armed me with despair. You pushed me beyond patience, and I rose beyond pain. You made me desperate, but my heart is still beating strong. They whisper about how you pushed me. My soul screams what they don't know. You forced my hand, but I'm the author of my own broken story. I stepped into the fire you kindled, and I became unbreakable. Your silence pushed me to loud choices. I refused to be invisible. They say I lost control. Truth is, I found myself in the wreckage. You pushed me so far, I became a force they never saw coming. I'm not the damage, you're the storm that tore me apart. You forced me to act, but my soul is the only one I answer to. They talk about how you pushed me, but I'm the one who chose to rise. You made me shatter, but also taught me how to rebuild stronger. I walked this path because your absence left no other way. They don't see the silent battles behind my every decision. You pushed me to the edge. Now I dance on my own terms. My choices were forged in the furnace of your neglect. You pushed me to scream when silence was killing me softly. I did this because your love became the war I had to win. Everyone talks about how you pushed, but I'm the one living the aftermath. You forced me into darkness, but I learned how to be my own light. I'm not broken. I'm the phoenix from ashes you left behind. They blame me, but you're the storm that shattered our peace. You pushed me to fight, and now I fight to heal. I became the chaos you created, but also the calm after. They say I'm reckless. I say I'm the fire you couldn't tame. You pushed me to walk away, but I'm returning stronger than ever. The wounds you left made me fierce beyond your wildest fears. You forced my hand, but my soul holds the final pen. They judge my fall, but never the hands that pushed me down. You pushed me to rage, but I'm rising from pain's ashes. I'm the consequence of your silence and the power of my voice. You made me shatter, but I'm piecing myself back with fierce love. Everyone talks about how you pushed, but I'm learning to walk without you. You forced my hand, but I'm the only one who can forgive me.